Right, so I've been working on various ideas about what to build to keep my costs down at the moment because of the cost of living expenses in the UK. It's getting pretty tough and hard. Um, I've just got to keep things economical, and I want to try something which I've got a high confidence level that would work. Now, I've been talking about this circuit using this, as a resonant circuit. And I've also been talking about this circuit. We're using an Alnico switching method. And then I thought to myself, well, let's build something that somebody else claims works. Because that way I can at least get something that will produce energy, free energy, which is what we're looking at. Now, this guy on YouTube called What If I Did This, which is his YouTube channel, was doing tests with a bifilar coil, which is a DC resonant circuit. Now, a DC resonant circuit is, when he was doing tests with it, he had an issue where he couldn't get his input current to a minimum. That's probably because it's running as a DC circuit, because, as you know, with a 2N3055, it's switching the coil on and off, and there's a huge amount of back EMF being generated, and he's had a lot of power generated to light up his 240 volt 9 watt LED light bulb. Now, using a 2N3055 is great if since it works for him, but the problem is he was trying to spark, in one of his videos he was trying to spark, I believe it was the output or the input or something, I can't remember now, but he was trying to get it, when he got it in a certain situation, the resonance circuit, his input current dropped off to virtually nothing. Now, I believe that the reason for that is he was putting the oscillator into a state of what is often called wideband oscillation. What happens then is you have a secondary oscillation within the main oscillation, and the thing starts to screech, and it, like a screeching, it basically goes into a harmonic feedback loop. The harmonic feedback loop gets into a secondary resonance circuit situation, whereas it produces the output and the input will drop off. Now, the reason he was trying to do that, which might be unbeknownst to him, is because his oscillator circuit is basically DC, because his short circuit is shorting out positive through the coil, and then it switches off and you get back EMF. Now, the problem with a resonant circuit like that is, unless you have a capacitor across it, the amount of power that you're using, it's one-sided, it's not balanced, it's not a balanced circuit. So you end up with a higher consumption of current because the coil becomes saturated. And when you're in a saturated state, you need to dissipate that, reverse the polarity somehow. And by having it in a feedback circuit, resonant feedback, you can actually acquire that. But he was struggling a little bit trying to sort that out. Now, I have my H-bridge circuit, which I built a few years back. Actually, I can't remember when I built this. There's a date on the circuit board. 2018. I built this in May 2018. Right. So this produces an AC circuit oscillator, AC signal from a DC input. So I'm thinking, if I use this instead of using the 2N3055, I can fine tune it to give the resonant frequency of the coil circuit that he did, and we should be able to find a sweet spot to minimize the current consumption. So I'm thinking I might build that circuit that he's got, but drive it with my H-bridge, and this is driven by 4 MOSFETs. high power MOSFETs. So that might be the next thing which I could do to test out. But if by any chance this circuit doesn't work, or it doesn't work how I hope it would work, all's not lost, because I could still build his circuit, because I have plenty of 2N3055 transistors. Actually that's 2N55, that's the PNP version. I have got some I have got some 2N3055 high power transistors from many years ago. These are all genuine ones and they're not the cheap Chinese knockoffs. I've got a lot of these. I've got a lot of TV ones as well. Oops. I also, there you go, 2N3055. I have quite a lot of high quality ones in here. I also have a heatsink, which I need to pop that other transistor out because it's a TV transistor BU204. I need to pop that one out and put a 2N3055 in the heatsink. So I'm thinking, why not build that? Because I've got the components and it's not expensive for me to build that. I'll just have to order the speaker wire. So I'm going to go with oxygen-free copper speaker wire. So I've got to get that ordered. And we'll see what this thing can do. It will be very interesting because I have a whole box full of secondary coils which I can use to capture the resonant frequencies to power devices. And I'll probably need to get some more of these full wave bridge rectifiers, because I need them freestanding to mount on the coils to rectify the AC and produce DC output. So yeah, I'm looking at that. They're not that expensive to buy. So just some food for thought, and something that we could build. If you think it's a good idea to try this out, let me know in the comments. Bye for now.